Donald Trump is posting about his death. Yeah, you heard me correctly. Donald Trump is posting about dying with no motivation or really reason at all, just out of the blue. But it shouldn't be out of the blue. Donald Trump should be responding to questions from the media about his health. But they just don't ask. Donald Trump is consistently forgetting where he is, who he's with, what's going on. He falls asleep multiple times a meeting, and the mainstream media says nothing about it. But Donald Trump is making it very clear they should be, and it shouldn't just be independent media asking questions. But here we are asking questions as the president posts about his death. Now, I want to get into what this means more broadly for Trump's presidency, the implications for his war on Iran. But I first want to start with what the mainstream media used to sound like when it came to issues of health for elected politicians.
I don't need his recommendation. It's
How
totally
bad is your memory, and can you continue as president?
My memory is so bad I let you speak.
I responded to this post on Twitter writing, "Why don't reporters ask Trump questions like this?" Have you ever heard a reporter ask Donald Trump with that level of accusatory certainty anything in his entire presidency? Why were you best friends with Jeffrey Epstein? Donald Trump said he was. Epstein said he was. And that question has not been asked in such a direct way after almost a year and a half of Donald Trump's presidency. Why do you continue to fall asleep in meetings? That question hasn't been asked. Why is your health so bad that you're covering bruises on your hands and trying to hide your kinkles? Reporters do not ask those types of questions of Donald Trump, and it is because they are scared of him. And Donald Trump, in many large ways, but also in small ways in and around his White House press pool, has eliminated the actual free press. It does not exist anymore, because if it did, there would be inquiry when Donald Trump says stuff like this, which perfectly set up the post he made about dying.
You know, I'll say it right now. I say it because no press ever reports it. I'm the only president that ever took a cognitive test. I took it 3 times. It's actually a very hard test for a lot of people. It wasn't hard for me, but it's a cognitive test. It starts off with an easy question, and by the time you get to the middle, it gets tougher. By the time you get to the end, very few people can answer those questions. They get very tough, mathematical equations and things. I took it 3 times. I aced it all 3 times.
Now, I also want to add that a top doctor, a former White House doctor, said that Trump shouldn't be bragging about his cognitive tests. A former White House physician has suggested Donald Trump stop bragging about passing cognitive tests designed to identify people with dementia. While sharing a clip of Trump's remarks, Reiner, a former doctor for Dick Cheney during his time as vice president, suggested a president boasting about passing a 10-minute test, which is what Donald Trump took for his cognitive state, which can involve drawing the hands of a clock to indicate a certain time and identifying animals, is not the best look. Yeah, it's not a good brag. If I were one of the president's advisors, I would beg him to stop bragging about doing well on a dementia screening tool, which requires the patient to identify a camel and subtract 7 from 100, Reiner posted on Twitter. If there was an actual press doing its job, they would ask Donald Trump, "Hey, so the test you're bragging about taking, saying no other president could have tackled it, is a 10-minute exam designed to test not someone's cognitive strength or their aptitude. It's not an IQ test. It's whether or not you should not be allowed to drive. This is not a happy test. This is not a how smart you are test. This is a very sad test if someone has to take it." That is the way the question should be posed to Donald Trump. But I'm not even being critical of the fact that it's not being posed that way. It is not being asked at all. Donald Trump is obviously in deep cognitive decline. His advisors know it. The people around him know it. The media knows it. And they don't do anything. They don't ask. They don't press. But they should, because it is impacting Trump's thinking on issues that impact us all. And he made it very clear this morning when, without reason, he just posted this. Donald Trump shared on Truth Social a letter written to him from the evangelist Franklin Graham on October 15th of last year, saying, "Dear President Trump, congratulations on a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas," which really dates this considering that Israel has consistently broken that ceasefire. "This week you commented to the media," Graham wrote, "that you might not be heaven-bound. Maybe you responded in jest, but it is an important issue to know for certain that your soul is secure and will spend eternity in the presence of God. The only one who can save us from hell is Jesus Christ. You can't save yourself. I can't save myself." Of course, he went on to say, "If you accept that by faith and invite him to come into your heart, you are heaven-bound. I promise." Okay, so Donald Trump out of the blue, after falling asleep during his cabinet meeting, talking about his cognitive state, showing very clear signs of dementia, is posting a letter that he got from an evangelist, some Christian crazy who's a Trump pastor, back in October about what's going to happen when he dies. That when Donald Trump dies, he's heaven bound. Now, I think we all know that's bullshit. But why on earth is the President of the United States in the middle of the morning posting without motivation, without anyone asking him, without anyone spurring it on? It's not a story right now. This was an old story. Now, if Donald Trump had posted that letter when he got it on October 15th, 2025, I probably still would have talked about it as weird. I would have said it is weird that Donald Trump is talking about why everyone thinks that he's going to go to heaven because he's such a swell guy. But it takes on a different context now. In the context of Donald Trump talking about his cognitive state, the mainstream media refusing to ask any questions that starts a real conversation about Donald Trump's health, the records that they've covered up. Hell, he said he had an MRI. He said he had a brain scan. They walked that back. They said it was a CAT scan. They said it was a different scan. They said it didn't happen. They said it was on his heart. He's taking more aspirin than is like prescribed or is recommended by doctors. And doctors are like, that's a shit ton of aspirin. He might have had a stroke. He clearly had a stroke. His mouth sags. And he's posting about what's going to happen when he dies. Donald Trump is posting about his death. Is that not unsettling to anybody else? That the President of the United States, just on some random Sunday, is like, well, when I die, it'll all be okay, though, because they say I'm going to heaven. This guy, 5 months ago, said I was going to heaven when I die. For no reason at all, I'm just thinking about my death. What if I came on here and told y'all, like, hey, I just want to let y'all know real quick, if I die pretty soon, I'm going to want you to just take care of some things for me and this and that. You'd be like, is something going on with Jack? First, the thing you'd think is like, Jack, stop talking about the Epstein files because they're going to come for you. Not suicidal, by the way. I'm not thinking about anything. So if anything goes weird, just know Kash Patel was involved. Or, Mossad was involved. They don't really like people calling out Israel, do they? But if I said that, or if anyone in your life said that, just think how you'd respond. Be like, what? Like if you were just driving with a buddy or you were grabbing lunch and you're just like, yeah, Wembanyama's been just on a tear lately. You've been watching the Spurs? And then they respond, I think I'm going to go to heaven when I die. You'd be like, what? Or you'd be like, yeah, man, I guess you're great. What's gotten you thinking about your death? What's gotten you thinking about that? Right? That would be the follow-up question. First it'd be, huh? But then it would be, why are you thinking about that? And if your friend was 79 years old with a clear track record of cognitive and physical decline that has escalated majorly recently, and if over the past 6 months they had consistently lied to you about medical examinations, you would probably think to yourself, maybe we should get lunch more consistently because you might be wrapping this thing up soon. Right? Am I wrong to think that? And the mainstream media doesn't ask. They don't inquire. They don't ask the basic follow-up question. They don't even cover it. This should be headline news. Donald Trump is posting about what's going to happen when he dies. It is March 29th, and he is posting a letter from October 15th, talking about what's going to happen when he dies, that he's heaven-bound, that some MAGA pastor thinks he's heaven-bound. That should be a big story. That should be the biggest story. That the President of the United States, who is in such deep cognitive decline, that his handlers, Donald Trump's handlers, have to show him a quote-unquote sizzle reel of what's happening in Iran that doesn't feature updates on service members who have lost their lives, who have been wounded because Donald Trump has started a war on behalf of the Epstein class, on behalf of Israel. No. It's just shit blowing up because that's the only way to keep him engaged. Because his attention span has gotten so bad, he's so cloudy in the head that they can only show him 2 minutes of stuff blowing up. And that's the update for Mr. President. That's the update for Dear Leader. And with all of that, Donald Trump posting this months-old letter from a MAGA pastor saying that when he kicks the bucket, everything's going to be fine. You're going to be all good, Donald. And you can see these worries that Trump has about his legacy, about his death, manifested in so many ways. He is so dead set focused on erecting physical, legacy markers. The ballroom, this arch that he wants, putting his name on the Kennedy Center. He's doing that because he knows what his legacy is. That no matter how much stone or marble he builds, The only thing written in stone is that Donald Trump is the worst president we have ever had in American history. And no one's going to get close to reaching him. That is what his legacy is. And so Donald Trump is very focused on trying to change that, trying to literally erect statues of himself. He's trying to put his name and his face on money right now. That is a guy clearly thinking about his legacy. And it is why I think 2028, for Republicans, that primary is going to be a disaster. Because Trump is reckoning with dying, doesn't want to leave control, not certainly to J.D. Vance or Rubio or Tucker or Marjorie Taylor Greene or Thomas Massie or whoever, just in general. He thinks the presidency is keeping him alive.